Hey YouTube, hope you guys are doing great. So I posted a video back in September 28th, 2010 about spiritual house cleansings and Native American smudging ceremonies. And literally several times a week I'll get question submissions asking like, how do I get rid of these ghosts in my house? Or I have a demon, stuff like that. For those of you that are skeptical of the paranormal, metaphysical, alternative healing, like you could just stop watching this video right now because I'm probably going to offend your sensibilities here. But for those of you that are experiencing something you can't explain, you've gone through logical reasonings, and benefit of the doubt, you have a ghost in your house or something like that. This is a technique for you to use. Ever since I was about 11 years old, I've been studying the paranormal for about 12 years now. I'm 23 years old. And I've been experiencing paranormal things since I was about 2 years old. We have a huge background in studying different cultures and religions, and so I found different methods from across the whole world, around the whole globe, on how to get rid of negative energy, spirits, how to help spirits cross over, things like that, and then pulled together the most potent methods and put them together in my version of a smudging, house blessing, cleansing ceremony. I kind of combine Christian, Catholic, Native American, and South American methods and stuff like that. But for the basic one, what I do, and this works for every single human spirit haunting. If you're dealing with a demonic entity, and I give a couple different videos. If you go onto YouTube, type in Michigan PRA. P is in paranormal, RA. And you'll find our different videos about poltergeists and demonic entities and how to really tell the difference between ghosts and demons. So moving beyond that, assuming you just have a typical human spirit haunting, a lot of spirits stay here because they don't know they're dead. There's a traumatic death. They don't want to cross over due to fear of judgment, fear of what might happen once they cross over, or they feel like they have unfinished business here. Or sometimes you have a residual haunting, which people kind of refer to as Gettysburg, where a lot of people died, and it's kind of like a tape that's playing over and over again. So what you're going to need, and mind you, I sell a DVD really cheap. It's on Etsy.com, ETSY.com, and you're going to look up the Willow's Notch or just look up DVD House Cleansings, and you'll find it on there. I produced it. It's professionally done on how to do this if you're a little bit hesitant or a little bit scared. Here's what you're going to need. You've probably heard about a lot of paranormal groups using these and stuff like that, but this is a dried white sage bundle. It smells really good. I love the smell of white sage. Why a lot of paranormal groups and like spiritual healers and people fail sometimes with their cleansings is because they're not thorough enough. This is the biggest thing that I can't stress enough. You must and you have to cleanse each and every section of your home, including bathrooms, closets, crawl space, attic, garage, basement, decks, porches, like every single place, anywhere that energy or spirits could hide, you gotta take care of. You can even go into the four corners of your property and do this too, just to get out all bad energy. So you can buy a white sage bundle, either on like a website, or you can like type it on Google or whatever, and you can find them for cheap. They're usually a couple bucks, maybe under $10, depending on what size you get. And you can also go to a New Age bookstore or a metaphysical alternative store. Anyways, I love them. So what we're going to do, you don't have to use an abalone shell, but if you're going to stick with a more traditional method, you can get an abalone shell, traditional in terms of Native American tradition. And what you could do is you crumple up bits of this into the abalone shell. And what I like to use it can be found at a hookah store, but it's charcoal discs, and I have a set of metal tongs that I like to use so I don't burn myself. Anyway, so you're going to take the white sage, crumple it into here, and you're going to burn your charcoal disc on your stove top or stove range until it starts to glow orange. Put it on here, and it's going to start smoking. I like to perform my smudgings with a traditional route with Native American stuff, and I have a special feather I like to use. And you go through the house wafting this. Now, meanwhile, you have to say this out loud. And say whatever you're comfortable with. It doesn't matter what religion or denomination you use or belong to. But anything in the name of God or Great Spirit or Allah, I cast out any dark demonic entities or any human spirits from this home. Only positive white light may be in this home. Spirits, you're no longer welcome here, and you're no longer allowed here. Cross over into the light, be gone, amen type thing. Another thing, sometimes if you're not dealing with like a scary haunting and you just feel a presence that's in your house, sometimes I take a sympathetic tone and I'll be like, spirits, please don't be afraid to cross over. God is very loving and understanding. Do not be afraid of judgment. God forgives us all type thing. And you have friends and loved ones waiting for you on the other side. So kind of like an encouragement, or pets or whatever they might be looking forward to experiencing when they cross over. So anyway, so you're going through the house. Now, some of you might have children. I actually encourage you to include your children on this. Some people will be like, everyone needs to leave the house, but no, that's wrong. You need to work together as a family and as a team because that bond and that strength will help you get through this, especially with demonic cases. And so what you're going to want to do is have the family participate. When we do cleansings for people dealing with a severe case, we actually have the kids help out. They like to fling like holy water and stuff like that and like sprinkle salt, and it actually empowers them. Your children are very strong energies and beings, and they themselves can cast these things out. It has to do with your faith, your belief in God, a great spirit, of this divine entity, and your ability to ask that and invoke that spirit, that essence, to clear out your house from negativity. And children really should have the right to claim their home. And cleansings are really about reclaiming your house and stuff like that too. I also need to mention real quick, when you're doing a house cleansing, you can do it seasonally, or you can do it whenever there's negative energy from, say, like someone has cancer, family fighting, or just use it as like a form of alternative healing. It really helps people with homework and kids and studying, and you'll notice the atmosphere is a lot more brighter. So once you burn your white sage, what I like to go and do next is I take olive oil, and I just have it in a small container, and I'll dab it on my finger and anoint above the doors, every single door and every single window, in the sign of the cross or whatever you're comfortable with. It doesn't matter. So go through and do that while aloud the whole time you're saying a prayer out loud. I command you in the name of God to leave, cross over, don't be afraid, blah, blah, blah. This includes bathrooms, like everywhere you're going through, doorways, doors, and windows. Anoint them. The next big thing you're going to do, and some people debate this, like you got to have blessed salt or you have to have sea salt. Salt is salt, and it's interesting that even in satanic Bibles, they even talk about salt being able to control bad energies and things like that. So it's kind of confirming from both sides of the paranormal spectrum here. But salt's very potent. And what you want to do, and it may sound witchy or whatever, but it's not, you're going to want to take a pinch of salt and sprinkle it in every corner of every single room. And I'm serious, be thorough. At your doorways and entrances and exits and all that stuff, you're going to draw a line of salt. It doesn't have to be thick, just a line of salt. You can even do it in the four corners of your properties and things like that. Meanwhile, again, saying a prayer, going throughout the whole house and doing this. The other thing you can do too after you burn the white sage and kind of get out all the bad energy, because in theory, white sage gets rid of negative energy, bad things. Then you can burn a part of a braid of sweetgrass. You can just snip it off, put it on the charcoal, it'll burn. And sweetgrass is supposed to invoke positive energy. And that's what I basically do for a basic haunting. For demonic stuff, it's a little bit different. But with that, if you have everybody working together and then sit down at the end and kind of say a prayer out loud, like we pray that any spirits here will cross over into the light and be at peace, blah, 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 amen. That's what works. And it's interesting because priests have said, like, I'd rather deal with a demon than a ghost because I actually know how to supposed to get rid of a demon. When spirits are just, I think, easier and a lot less issues that you're going to deal with if you're dealing with just the basic haunting or whatever. But that's how to do it. You can check out the DVD. There's a lot more to it too, but just make sure everyone's on the same page. If someone's there to, like, they're in it for thrills or like something scary that they want to watch, that's not what it is. A cleansing is very therapeutic, very relaxing, very like down to earth, mellow, and you can feel the difference in your house. You can feel your house lighten up. It's more positive. One last thing too, sorry, I forgot this, guys. Before you start your cleansing, make sure you open a couple doors and windows to let the smoke out, and also in theory to let the spirit out. Do not forget that. And then at the end of the cleansing, you can shut them again or whatever. A couple things I found that also help combat any negative energy and spirits and stuff like that are the Himalayan salt rock lamps. They emit negative ions, which are really healthy and good for you, versus positive ions, which are like microwave cell phones, and other things like that. So that's something to take interest into. Also leaving a fan on, something that circulates the air. I've noticed in studies that people were attacked less when they had these things on or in their room. I'm trying to think if I'm forgetting anything else. But anyways, so that's a basic house cleansing. Anyone can do it. Doesn't matter your religion or denomination or whatsoever. And these are different methods I've found from around the world. You can also burn a thing called Palo Santo. It's P-A-L-O and then space S-A-N-T-O, I think. It's a wood, and I think it's from South America. It smells really minty, but it was used to drive out evil spirits. You can also try smudging with that as well, too. But anyways, these are methods from around the world that I have studied, even though I'm skipping out a bunch of other methods I like to use sometimes. And I think that proves that God, Great Spirit, is beyond, and ascends any one religion or denomination, that we're kind of all worshiping the same great divine being. So try this. If you guys are skeptical, that's understandable, but I almost guarantee this is going to work for you. If you're really scared, then have some friends join in with you, but having that negative energy of being scared is not going to help you. You got to be firm, assertive, kind of like Caesar Milan when he's training his dogs or whatever, like calm and assertive. Like you're claiming your house back. This is your home. You have the right to be at peace, and you got to protect your family. So anyways, I hope you guys learned from this, and I hope it was informative for you. If you have any questions, send me a message or write a comment. I hope you're doing great. Thanks.